with S&K Oil. I'm here with John Salazar of the famous Manuel's Restaurants here in Arizona. Family owned, family operated since 1964. We're here to talk about a couple different things. One, I have to say this since the other interviews that we've done, not everybody's been a customer. John and his family have been customers of S&K Oil for over 8 years. In fact, they were one of our first customers here in the Valley. They use it, not only our oil, but they use our system, which is where we collect their waste and turn it into biofuel. My next thing that we're here for, though, is to talk about the Angel program that we've been conducting on 96.3 Real Country. And that promotion has gone very well. John's restaurant was one of the winners last week. His restaurant was chosen as a #1 place for that customer to go for their takeout, which I agree with, having had the food here several times, and very fortunate over the years to have it many times before that. But our promotion is going well, and I wanted to bring John in because not only because he's a customer, and not only because he's a family-run restaurant, but this what we're going through right now with the C-19 virus is affecting a lot of people. I thought it only fitting that we talk to a restaurateur that has an entire family that is affected by this virus. So, John, I appreciate your patience through my introduction here, but we've been friends for a long time. We've been on the board of the Arizona Restaurant Association serving together. We fought a lot of battles with the state on passing laws. Well, a regulation that tells you got to close, that makes it a little tough. How are you? This had to be a surprise to you on March 17th when the mayor said that everybody had to close at 8 o'clock and don't know when we'd open again.
Well, it caught us quite by surprise, but that's just part of the deal that you have to deal with. You said I was famous. I wanted to know if it's famous or infamous. But,
Both.
Yeah, anyways, it was a surprise, and we had to be creative and try to come up with all kinds of different ways to try to stay in business. Fortunately, the state allowed us to continue to serve takeout, and that's kind of been what's been holding our business together, and still being able to offer employment to some employees. We had to furlough quite a few, but at least we've been able to offer our most loyal and long-term employees continued employment, and that's important to me. It's important to my family, and it's important for their families because we have to be able to, look for their benefit and their well-being as well as ours.
One thing too with that, and I'd be remiss if we didn't mention this, of the amount of employees that you have that have worked for your restaurants for over 20 years. You've got quite a list. In fact, you feature it on your website. I think you guys, you and your family should be applauded for that. That doesn't happen very much in our industry, and you've done a great job. It's hard to keep people, but you've obviously got a great organization.
Well, fortunately for us, a lot of it is the employees. Our success is because of those employees, and we try to treat them like family because they are like family, and we try to do everything we can to keep the family alive, ours as well as theirs, and so we do whatever we can do.
The face of restaurants is going to change. When we do get a chance to reopen, how do you envision what a restaurant's going to look like? Whether we open, I'm hoping to open at the end of the month, and there's people telling me restaurants are going to get a chance to open until July or August. I can't imagine that, but what do you envision what that's going to look like?
We're still trying to figure that out. It's hard you hear so many different things, restrictions are going to put on us, and I don't know how much more restrictive they can be than they are right now. It's not just costing us money. We pay a lot of taxes. We pay a lot of sales taxes and property taxes, and I feel like the government's part of my family too because I support them a lot. And unfortunately, they're being cut back drastically because the amount of sales taxes we're paying has gone down. The amount of withholding taxes that we're paying on behalf of those employees has gone way, way down, and so they're going to feel it too. So it behooves not only for my benefit, but for society in general's benefit, including the government, to figure out something that's going to allow us to open back up again so that we can at least start becoming productive members again and contributing instead of taking, and that's
Waiting
what's
for that
going on
handout,
right
yeah.
now. Yeah, everybody.
Another thought though, when you reopen, I mean, are servers going to come to your table with gloves on, or are they going to have masks on, or when I have to throw a fishing line to the table in order to get their drinks to them? I mean, what's it going to look like?
Well, obviously there's going to be gloves and masks, and things aren't going to be quite the same anymore as what people were used to getting, and we're seeing a lot of price increases and unavailability of a lot of things. Meat prices are going up crazy, and it has been hard until recently to get beans and rice, which is a staple in Mexican food. So
Yeah.
it's just hard to say until all these factories that slaughterhouses get all of their things straightened out, and everybody gets. It's going to be a community effort to do everything they can do to try to have a safe product, and so that we can ensure that we have safe standards and practices, so that we can try to get over this and be able to serve the public in a safe manner and serve them good and healthy food.
I just sitting in this room here, I'm looking at your stage back here, and for those of you that don't know, we're at the Manuel's over off of 92nd Street in Scottsdale, Arizona. John has a band. Yes, he's a rock star.
In my own mind.
Well, I'm here to tell you, on Friday nights, and I don't know what it's like the rest of the time, but I've been here a few times on Fridays. I can't imagine this room being empty, because by 6:30 on a Friday night, it's standing room only here. What's going to happen?
Well, hopefully eventually we'll get back to that, but everything is uncertain right now, and so we're just doing the best we can. I can tell you something that we are going to do. Friday and Saturday night, we're going to have a tailgater out in the parking lot. We're going to have the band out in the parking lot from 5 to 7. And we're going to, every other space, we're going to reserve for people to come in and at least order to go and bring their own tables and chairs, because they're doing it anyways. People drive up and they bring their tables and chairs, get their to-go, and they eat outside.
Now, will that start this Friday?
Yes.
And that is Friday, April...
It'll be 24th.
Okay, so remember that, everybody. John will even play some country for you 96.3 listeners
we've got a
as
steel
well.
guitar player that's really...
Oh,
really
there you go. That's great.
We're going to do a lot of George Strait. That'll be some fun.
Well, that's awesome. I think that's great that you're doing that. I congratulate you for being able to go from full service to takeaway. I know it was tough, having been in the industry myself. I prided myself in having a good takeaway business, but I'm here to tell you, when you got to switch over like that. One last question before we leave today. One of the things that I foresee happening in the restaurant industry is people like yourself that were on the cutting edge of staying up on takeaway and doing a good job on executing during these tough times. How is that going to affect your business? Do you think there will be a portion of customers that won't eat out anymore, that will be afraid to come out and sit at a table, and they're going to become long time? I mean, your takeaway business could be 40% of your business.
Well, we're seeing, we just don't know. We know that it's never going to be the same, or at least it's not going to be the same for a long time, or at least what it used to be. We envision that our takeout is going to be a lot more. We're using services, online services to do ordering. We're exploring non-contact settlement procedures where you can settle a credit card on your cell phone. So, we're exploring all of these different avenues, and eventually we're going to get it down. We are not the type of a family that's just going to sit and take it. I mean, we're going to be the ones that are going to explore new methods and ways of...
The American way, ingenuity. It lives.
It works really well here.
Well, this is one of our first in a series of videos that we're doing, and getting out to the population of Arizona and effects of the C-19 virus on our restaurateurs and the operators. Don't forget, stop by here. Is it going to be this Friday and more Fridays, or is it going to be just
Friday and Saturday nights?
You gotta be at Manuel's in Scottsdale. John, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it.